All right, welcome back everybody. Back with another video, and I'm pretty sure all the people who watch my videos, judging by what I'm filming right now, they already know what this is. This is the Dualtron series review. So last one was the 1 year review, 10K miles. I'm pretty much at 15K now, or a little bit less. This thing gets ridden a lot. So a lot to talk about. It's really crazy how you guys can see the transition of the scooter from when it was new all the way until now. You could see the real world riding and how it's degrading and the scratches and all that. It's just cool to see it. If you haven't seen it, start from part 1 and go up. First of all, I want to start out with some shout outs from some of the viewers who left some comments. Some interesting comments I'd like to shout out. Shout out to Tenzin, Tenzin. He made an interesting comment, because if you guys watched my last video, the no flat tire technology, tire, RSC, whatever bullshit, pretty much run flats. Got a flat, showed you, pulled the pin out and everything. Shit is just bullshit. But Tenzin made a comment saying that, oh, there's a way to fix it. If you take the tire out and use a clamp and clamp down on where the hole is, and that could probably patch it or whatever, which I may try to do that. Now here's the thing: I still haven't opened the tire, I haven't looked in it yet, but if we open it, and it's just like the last one when I opened it, and the nylon has fallen off and it's not even stuck to it anymore, then that's definitely going to be the issue. But if it's still stuck on there perfectly and all that shit, I'll definitely try that method. So thanks to him for mentioning that. Also, shout out to Fights and Finance. He actually just got a new scooter from Alibaba. He's waiting for it to come. Congratulations on that. As you guys know, at least the people who watch my videos, you know that I've been there already and I've done that. And my first dual motor scooter was an Alibaba scooter, was the T113. This was a while ago, but from my bad experience, I can't get any more Alibaba scooters. Now, a lot of time has passed, and they may have upgraded, they may have, gotten better parts and all that kind of stuff, because most of these scooters, they come from China anyway, you know what I mean? So, and now even Dualtron, their scooters are built in China. I think they're still manufacturing their own parts, but you know how it is, send your shit to China, get cheap labor. Once your company starts coming up, or, everybody goes to fucking China. Everybody outsources to China at some point, but it's still the same parts and whatnot. But you can get mostly all of the parts for Dualtrons off Alibaba, just so you know, and AliExpress mostly. I'm sure Alibaba too, but just go to AliExpress, it's a lot easier. But anyway, he just got himself, I think he got a 60 amp hour, which is really sweet. And he was like, yeah, I just need to change the controllers. So I'm pretty sure he's aware of how it works, Now, here's the thing. I've done that. I've been there and done that because I didn't want to buy Dualtrons. They cost so much money and all that shit. But, or any of the other high-powered brands that were out at the time. And this was a long time ago. So I bought an Alibaba scooter, you know what I mean? With no shame in my game, I just wanted something that was fast and, reliable. But, didn't want to spend the money on a Dualtron. But you got to watch the old video to see what happened to me. And, it's on there. It's like one of my first videos. So after that bad experience, I can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? So I just had to go with a reputable name as a Dualtron, or if it would have been the Wolf Warrior, or whatever was out, just something that I know I can get parts and I can communicate with, because with China, it's going to be hard. You're going to just be pretty much doing your own shit. You ain't going to get no warranties or nothing like that. So, but if you know what you're doing, go ahead and get an Alibaba scooter. There's nothing wrong with it. All I'm saying is just be safe and check the quality of it and all that. Because, make sure those shocks are good. Mine that I had, it broke. I fell. Luckily, I was going, not too fast, Just be careful on those scooters. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, man, shout out to Fights and Finance, let me know. He says he's going to make a video. Let me know. Keep me updated so then I can mention on my channel, you know, how your scooter's going and, hey, his is good, the particular model he got. And then maybe you can, you know, ask him some questions, or I'll keep up with him and mention him in a further video. So shout out to Fights and Finance. Also, shout out to William Copeland. He made an interesting comment about the Ryon Apex. And, you know, most of you know, watch my videos. I was always interested in the Ryon. I was always interested in getting a Ryon. I wanted to get the Ryon RE90. And they don't even make the RE90 anymore. They make, the Apex is gonna come out, and the Thrust was their last model, which is, you know, what I'll get. Because as you guys remember, you know, I plan on getting 3 scooters, okay? And you guys gotta understand that my Dualtron Storm Limited is not an in-game scooter, okay? This is what I know. It's not an in-game scooter. Okay, the Dualtron Storm is definitely not an in-game scooter. The Dualtron Storm Limited is an all-around scooter. Big battery, decent speed, lightweight. Not super lightweight, but in the middle. You know what I mean? Good for deliveries. Okay, there's reasons why I got the Dualtron Storm Limited, for making money and having something with a bigger battery. In-game scooter is like the ultimate powerhouse scooter, like one of the super fast top dogs. We're talking about either a Pt5 FS or an SST, an Apex, Ryon Apex or Thrust or RE90 if you could find one, a Slack from Numo. These scooters are in-game scooters. These scooters pack a lot of power that are gonna fuck all these other scooters up. That's in-game shit. But to answer your question, William, I always wanted to get it, but there's some limiting factors if I would have gotten a Ryon instead of the Dualtron Storm Limited as my second scooter. One factor is it will be really hard to do deliveries on a Ryon, okay? I would only use my Ryon for leisure and for fun. That thing is way too small. I can't strap a bag on there. It's just not gonna work out too good. It's not gonna be comfortable. Another thing was maintenance. You know, as we all know, Ryon is very busy. There are people who ordered their scooters almost 2 years ago who haven't gotten their scooters. So if they can't even get the scooters to you fast enough, what makes you think you're gonna be able to get help with maintenance? And if anything happens with the Ryon, maybe it'll work, nothing will ever malfunction for years. But if something does happen, I'm gonna have to do my own maintenance on that. And that thing is way more technical than these fucking scooters. You know what I mean? And, you know, it's got fans in it and all that shit. And I'm not trying to deal with that. And then I would be stuck. I wouldn't have 2 scooters. And a lot has happened, which I'm gonna tell you why I love my Dualtron Storm so much, because it saved my ass for deliveries with my extra battery. So, yeah, William, I love the Ryon, dude. I love it. But as a second scooter, for a backup scooter, it's not something that I can rely on for what I need. That is an in-game scooter, either that or an FS or whatever comes out later in the future, I will get that is a powerhouse in-game scooter. It might not be Ryon. A new company may come out with an amazing scooter that destroys Ryon. I don't know. That's the future. But if that's out, then I will do it, because another thing is Ryons take a long time to get. As I said, there's so many people, so many viewers who have not gotten their Ryons after like a year, because they do it all in-house. It's going to take a long time. So if I'm going to get that be my third scooter, I will just put all the money down, or I'll make payments and then just forget about it. Just forget I even bought it, and then just enjoy 2 scooters. You see what I'm saying? So that's to answer your question. Speaking of the Ryon, and also with the last video that I made for you guys on the Dualtron X Limited, aka X3, if you guys want to know good information on the Dualtron X, I know it's the X Limited and the X3, it's the same shit, dude. Like, you can call it the X3 or the original X. They're pretty much all the same scooter, okay? So if you want to get good info on the X, I would highly recommend checking out John Richardson's channel. This guy has good videos on the Dualtron X. He's done some cool mods to his throttle, a lot of stuff he's done to it. Like, I've looked around on a lot of channels, but honestly, his channel is the best. He's going to give you, the most info on the Dualtron X. If you guys haven't seen his channel, check it out. I'm pretty sure most of you in my channel probably know who he is, but if you don't, because I see there's 20 new people that came in, if you don't know who he is, you'll probably see him in my comments, or you could just look him up online. He'll give you all good info on the Dualtron X. Highly recommend it. Check him out. He's dope. And then also, shout out to Scoot the Harbor. Scoot the Harbor came in there as his usual. Ripping that Dualtron, boy, ripping that Dualtron. What'd he say? He was like, Dualtron is just fucking garbage or pathetic or something. I don't know. It's a joke. He's like, yeah, Dualtron is a joke, man. Blah, blah, blah. Like, it's all good though. That's, shout out Scoot the Harbor. I fuck with Scoot the Harbor, man. And that's another dude. If you guys fuck with the Nami Bernie, he's a Nami Bernie dude. Check his channel out. He makes a lot of videos on the Nami. If you like the Nami and you're interested in getting the Nami, check him out for the Nami, and check out John Richardson. These guys, they love their scooters. They make good videos on them. So as usual, let's go over the checklist. Okay. I really don't have to, but the suspension cartridges are fine. Like I always say, I don't see how those can malfunction. Those are doing fine. Okay. All of the switch boxes, the display, the switch box with the horn, the fingerprint sensor, all of that stuff is working perfectly fine. Okay. The motors are actually the same exact motors that I've had since the beginning. The motors are still functioning properly and as they did when I first bought them, and still spinning freely with no stickiness. Some motors, after a while, you spin them and they don't spin freely, and you need to get new ones because they're all rusted, blah, blah, blah. So obviously no water is getting in there. Obviously, as I mentioned a little bit before, Dualtron Storms are really good on water, but I would not, recommend just going out and riding in water. But if you happen to get caught in it, like I did, I got caught in the rain, it survived and it didn't get messed up, and I was so happy. There was really no water leakage, especially for the motors, the way they designed them. There's no water getting in there. But so we're good on that. What else? Okay, now the brakes have been changed, and as you guys can see, that big ass circle, I know you guys are wondering, what the hell is that damn wire circle? Hey, yes sir, that is a brake wire, because a while ago, I remember for my Mantis Pro, I had ordered some new brakes, and they had it where it was pre-bled and it was the right length and size and all that. Now, when I ordered it from these people from China, I asked them, hey man, can these be pre-bled, the sizes and all that? And they're like, yeah, I got you, blah, blah, blah. And then when I got them, they weren't pre-bled, and the front one was not the size that they said it was. It was like way longer. Like, as you can see, that's the front brake wire. So I don't have the tools to cut it. You have to cut it and you have to plug it. Oh, first of all, I had to do that in the first place anyway. You have to, in order to shorten it, you have to cut it and you have to put this plug in and all that. I'm not doing all that shit. So what I did was I just put it on as it came. Even though the wire is long, I just dealt with it. I'm talking to another AliExpress person on there that has them ready and pre-bled, and that will get my size right and all that. So I'll see if they'll do it, and then I'll replace them. But as long as it's working, I really don't care. Even though it looks weird, that's the way it is. Now, the reason why I had changed them, okay, now, I don't know, I don't know. I really don't know. I think I may have punctured them, or it may have gotten just old and, started leaking or whatnot. I don't know. But they became very weak when I pressed them. I think I bled them once, and then it just became weak again. Now, I remember rubbing and scraping up against, my brake wires up against things and all that. So it could have been punctured, or it could have just been, old and just started leaking. But I do remember rubbing up against shit with my front and my back, so I don't know. But it lasted a long time. It's easy to replace. I have to take everything off and then just, I bled them on there. I had to put it all together while I was on there, but that's fine. But I got it on and it works, even though one wire is long. So the brakes have been changed. The arms, they work, except for, some issues I'll explain later and whatnot. The controller. Now the controller has been changed. This is a newer controller. If any of you guys watched my controller swap out, you know that already, that my controller has been changed. Now, the original, here's another kicker to the storm. The original controllers were 40 amps, okay? When they came out with the newer versions, they were 45. I don't know what's up with that, but it seems to be working fine, so we're good, A little bit more power is nice anyway. And actually, I think that's what was in the Ultra 2. I think the Ultra 2 had 45, but for some reason they put 40s in the Storms. So I don't know. Obviously, I'm riding it every day, so I'll let you know if there's any issues or if anything happens. For all of my people out there that have Dualtron Storms, I'm going to give you some good information, So the controller has been changed, and I'm going to tell you how it all happened and everything. So yeah, I think that's it. I have mods up there. Let's go take a look at it. Let's do the usual. See it in all its glory. See how scuffed up and scratched up it is. Check out the switch box. It's like kind of dirty and not too bad though. It'd be trippy just to look at all the old ones. Check out the old Storm series. Look how it's faded. My shit is like real. My videos are legit. Like, I ride the shit out of these and you see it over time. Look at the fucking power button. Isn't that trippy? Look how it's fading. It's amazing. Let's check this out. Okay. Look at this. This thing is, it's getting older, man, but it's still rolling. This is my original battery. Oh yeah, battery, still working. Still working just fine. Oh, and the battery actually still charges to full capacity. 84 volts, still charges to full capacity. Okay, this is why I got the Dualtron, because I know that, it's gonna last, and I'm not gonna have those issues I did with the cheaper scooters. Check this out. That shit says me in. Me in. If you guys see my last one, I actually read it. It had more letters now. It's so cool to see, it devolve over time, man. It's getting older. Look at the scratches. Check them out. Plate still looks good. There's no chips on my controller holder. This thing is solid, dude. Holds up. There's that. As you can see, my arm is not the original arm. That's like tape inside. I'll explain. This is a part of what happened. I'm gonna explain everything. So that arm is not the original arm. And check this side out. What do we got here? That's not even a fucking letter. We just have 75% of an S. And here's a letter hanging. Like, I never touched this stuff. Here's the letter hanging, guys. Like, this is hilarious, dude. Check out the scratches right there. Ooh, check out the arm. Look how old it looks now. Yeah, guys, I have the most miles, dude. I have the most miles on a Storm than anybody. I haven't seen anybody with nearly 15K miles. So yeah, and I'm gonna continue to do these. We're gonna see its lifespan forever. So yeah, there she is in all her glory. Oh yeah, another thing I wanna mention to you guys is the brakes. Now, I want you to check this out. As you can see, I've stopped putting the nut brakes on, and I just went to AliExpress and found some really cheap ones to put on, aside from that. Before I was always getting the nut brakes, but the nut brakes are really expensive and these things wear down fast if you ride them a lot. So I went to China and got like a whole shitload of them. I'll put a link in the description if I can find it, but you can find it pretty easy. Just go to AliExpress, look for brake pads for Dualtron, Dualtron Storm, whatever, it'll pop up. Now this has been working, these have been working well and are a lot easier to install. You know, I realize now that I thought the nut brakes were better, but they're actually more expensive for no reason. Like, you know, those little, you know, extra like heat shields that are supposed to prevent heat and make it last long, it doesn't do shit. Okay, I find that these actually work better. It's actually letting more air in, so I would recommend getting some cheap ones. If you like the original nut brakes, brake pads, go ahead and buy them, but these have been working very well, and I could buy a whole shitload of them for cheap. Yeah, guys, and another thing I need to mention about these brakes, as you guys know, in my Dualtron Storm Series Part 3, I showed you guys how to put on I put the ultra wides on the Storm. These are the tires that are made for the weep head, and I put them on. You know, I was the first person to do that. There's nobody else on YouTube who has done that, who has made a video on how to put wide tires on a Dualtron, which is extremely comfortable. If you haven't seen my part 3, check that out. I talk about that a little bit, but I was the originator of that. But when you put those on, it's a completely different story. They're just so expensive. That's why I don't have them on. But anyway, with that being said, with putting these on, you don't have to worry about shaving it down. Remember, I told you guys had to shave it down because the tire is so big on the side, it comes off like this. With the original nut brakes, it will be scraping up against that. With these, you won't have to worry about it because everything is empty. So you'll be able to get it on real easy. So yeah, I just had to add that in there. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a little update. Look at this. I never take the sticker off. Look how it just naturally, I'm gonna let it naturally peel itself off. Isn't that crazy? Like, I never even touched that. Yeah, man, that shit's crazy. But yeah, that's just a little, you know, info on the brakes. Oh yeah, and another thing I gotta explain to you guys, I guess you guys noticed that I have one RSC tire on the front and I have original standard tire on the back, which this is a standard puncture proof, you know, with the nylon inside, puncture proof tire. And you guys know the RSC tire is also a puncture proof tire. Now, I didn't do this, you know, just to do it or because of a ride quality or anything, but I did it because of the last video I made for you guys where I got the fucking flat, and I have some tires on standby that are in the closet ready to go because I need to work, and I didn't have another one of these. The only thing I had was an RCS tire, so I ended up just putting that on until it's gonna fucking go to shit. Like, you know, I'm just so tired of these damn fucking flat tires, bro. Like, I really am. When I get money, I'm just gonna stock up on tires and rims and just put them on. There's nothing I can do. So far, so good. No flats, but that's why I have two different tires on right now. It actually rides pretty good, man. I don't know, something about it. I don't know, it actually, it's not too bad. I might actually leave it like that. It feels good, but yeah, so that's the deal with the 2 different tires. All right, guys, now let's get into the story of why I had to change the controller, which I'm really sad about, you know, because I wanted to keep that old one for as long as I can. But let's get into it. Okay, now I didn't have to change. Fucking sorry, something's in my damn eye. Goddamn bugs. I didn't have to change the controller because it burned out or because it malfunctioned on its own. That wasn't the case. I had to change the controller because of this. This right here. This is the key thing. The one on here, the bracket. The one on here and the other side. Now, let me explain what happened. Now, I'm gonna give you a huge word of advice if you have a Dualtron like this, either the Dualtron Storm Limited or the Dualtron Storm, that uses a bracket to hold that up. Now, those of you who watch my channel know that I've explained that the back, when changing the back tire or anything that you have to do when taking the back tire off, you have to take the brackets off and you have to lift up the controller, you know, because you don't want to take the whole fucking shit panel off just to move that. It's too much. Just take it, you know, flop it over. When you tend to put this back on, sometimes it's really hard to line up the bolts, okay? These bolts here, let me show you. Let me just get down here. These right here, you have to line this up, and then there's a screw inside there. You guys can't really see it, that you have to stick in. That lines up, so just imagine parallelism, the same thing on the other side, okay? So you have this, you have to line that up, you have to line that up, and you also have to line these up in order for it to go. And sometimes because of the wire in a position, and then knowing the position, you have to get both arms the position right. It is a fucking pain in the ass until you get the position. I have now, especially for me, like, I remember mentioning something before that I never mentioned back in one of the videos, tell you what I do as a trick on these, at least that I feel comfortable with, that makes the ride quality better, is bending this thing back as far as I can. That means making the arms go this way as much as I can. That makes the scooter higher up. Okay, I noticed that when it's lower, it just doesn't ride as good. Okay, when it's lower, it's sluggish. It just sounds weird. When it's high, you know what I mean? As far back as you can get it, that's how I like to ride. As you can see how flat my controller is laying. Some people, when they have theirs, the controller's like that. That means this is low. And that means that's low. Max that out, and I max this out. So it's at the highest. That feels very good and stable. But in doing that, and even if you're not doing that, when you try to line these up and they don't line up, you get frustrated, okay? At least for me. Now, if any of you guys remember in my videos, it would get so bad to where I get so frustrated and I would just leave out a bolt, or, you know, I left one out here and like the two bottom ones, or it was one or something. Point is, I left them out. I got frustrated. I just like, okay, it's fine, whatever. You know, I just got so mad I didn't want to deal with it and left it like that. That's where the issue started. Now, word of advice, don't ever, ever, ever do what I've done. Don't ever do that, okay? Because over time, makes sense too, from all the vibration, whatever. The other ones started wearing out because they're not equally tightened. You know, all this has to be equally tightened. So it started to wear out, right? So eventually, at one point, I had two bolts, one up here and one over there. And then at some point I had like none, you know. Yeah, I know it's dumb, you know, but you know, I figured it would happen, but I did it anyway because I was just that frustrated. But now I take my time on it, even if it takes me forever to get it lined up because I like it like this, the way I want it. I really take my time and I keep pulling it and putting it until I get it right and get these locked in. I will never do that again. Now, back to the story. Eventually, most of it all broke off, right? It just broke. And what I ended up doing is, now this is a time where I was really struggling. I have no money and I have nothing. I had nothing, dude. I've been working, you know, work has been bad. I had to do deliveries. I had to ride this thing. Oh yeah, and this is when my Storm, remember my Storm, this is the time I didn't have my Storm. This is the only scooter I had and I needed to make money. So I didn't have money to get another bracket and all that. So I'm like, fuck, what am I gonna do? So what I did was I fucking tied some zip ties like around here when it got really bad because it started rocking a little bit. And then I put some zip ties on it and then it was riding, you know, for a little bit at first. And then after a while, you know, going over some turns, I was figuring that shit would hold. They started snapping off and I was like, oh shit. And then I heard it until the point one time where they snapped off and I was actually on deliveries. And I'm like, fuck, I can't stop. I need this money. I don't have nothing. This is the only thing I can do. So it snapped and I heard a lot of rattling, like, brrr, and I was like, oh my God, fuck. Now, I should have stopped, but I didn't, you know, because I was like, I'm fucked if I don't make this money. So I figured, okay, it is rattling, but the inside is cool, you know, it should be able to take it, I hope, you know. Nope, not at all. So as I was just riding, you know, it's bouncing, and I could kind of feel it dragging a little bit, and I'm like, oh my God, shit. I can't, I have to, but I can't. And then all of a sudden I heard this noise. Like I heard the motor or the wheel or all this make this like, it was just making a noise. And then this one started being sluggish. It wouldn't spin, it wouldn't do anything. And then I was like, oh shit. And I stopped and I was like, well, there it is. Knew it was gonna happen. There it is. That it's either it was either the controller or the motor and all that. I didn't know what it was. Now, when I tried to, you know, turn it back on, it would come on, but it would make that weird loud noise when I try to accelerate, and it would go, you know, a lot slower, mainly this back area. So I was like, fuck. Luckily I was close to home. So I just walked it home, and that was it. Now, I played around with it a lot. I wanted to find out if it was the controller or if it was the motor. Now, I was thinking it was the motor. I was thinking maybe something happened with the hall sensor or the phase wire, the wire that connects to the motor was messed up and all that. It was just a whole bunch of fucking shit I tried and checked. I tried changing the motors to the limited motors. I put it back to the storm motors. And, you know, it was just, it would, like, sometimes it would work. Sometimes it wouldn't work. Sometimes it would seem like it was fixed and it would go fast, but then it wouldn't go fast. Sometimes it wouldn't spin at all, you know, so I was just like, what the hell is going on? So ultimately, in the end, I found out that it was the controller. So apparently it had gotten damaged. When I put the new controller in, it worked again. It didn't move sluggishly, nothing happened or whatever. So that's what happened. So the moral of the story is always make sure these are tight. Always make sure these are tight at all times, even this one. If you get frustrated, I think a lot of you maybe take yours to technicians, or you probably don't do it yourself, which is cool, you know what I mean? But I just don't have the time and I don't know nobody to do it. So you got to do your own maintenance. So like I said, always make sure both of these are in and screwed in fully, all of them. These ones, I guess, if one, because I have one missing here because it was the only way that I can line it up flat like I want. It just won't get the last screw in, but that's fine. As long as 3 are in here tight, this isn't gonna move. It's this right here. These brackets break, you're fucked. You can't ride without them. And it's gonna, if you ride with it bouncy. Most of you will probably never do this, but just giving you the heads up, of course. Okay, that's pretty much it. Both batteries are great. Both of them are running. Now, for the last thing I want to talk about, I just want to talk about why I love this scooter and the reason why this was such a good purchase decision. As I tell you guys, I buy these scooters for specific reasons. Specifically, the Storm and the Storm Limited were bought for specific reasons. For the Limited, it was mainly the 84-volt system and the bigger battery. For this, it was the ability to have an extra battery. Now, let me tell you why this is so amazing, okay? So here's another story I'm going into of what's been going on with me, okay? So before, when this was messed up and I didn't have my Limited, I was fucked and all this bullshit. Now, when I got the controller and I was able to do deliveries again, I was happy. Now, I know a lot of you don't know about how DoorDash works and all this bullshit or whatever, but basically they have this system where you're a top dasher, okay? And the way that you get top dasher, you have to have, high ratings in like, customer service. You have to have at least 100 deliveries every month. You have to have a certain amount of acceptance rate, which is 70%. You have to have a completion rate of at least like, 90 or something like that, or 95, whatever. So what ended up happening is I really got fucked over in August because I had lost my top dasher status, okay? Now, when you lose your top dasher status, you will not be able to dash now. What the dash now means is that when you open DoorDash, you can dash anywhere at any time, okay? So because I didn't have that feature anymore, because I lost my top dasher status, which was complete bullshit, they fucked me over. Even, I'm not going to get into a whole detail. If you guys want me to go into a whole detail about how DoorDash is and how the scooter is, that's a whole nother story. If you want me to tell it, how DoorDash is, what I do, go ahead, I'll do it. I'll make it for you. But the main point is they took me off my top dasher status. They fucked me over on purpose. And that means I wasn't able to dash in my area, which is really bad for me because I have to go, all of my neighboring cities were out. Everything that was like relatively close to me was out. I could not deliver at all. I had to go super far just to do deliveries, just because here's the thing. If you're not a top dasher, you can't dash now. If you turn it on and to try to dash, it won't let you. You can't. You have to go to highlighted areas where they say to dash, and that's it. So that is what's been happening since August 3rd. Now, when it initially started, I'll just tell you this little part about the story. When it initially started, I called them. They told me, oh, yeah, it's a malfunction in the system. It's happened to most people. It's going to get fixed, blah, blah, blah. So you know how we do in America. When a good, legit company, for the most part, when you're dealing with like Best Buy or Walmart or anything, you're just so used to them. When they say there's a technical issue or they say they're going to fix something, you assume that it's going to be done, right? Not with fucking DoorDash, okay? So they say they're going to do it. So I'm just sitting around, taking my sweet ass time, just doing Uber, because I also do Uber Eats, but I don't get that much. I don't get enough money. But I'm like, okay, well, it's fine. They should have it fixed by now because I know I shouldn't have dropped. And I have the proof and they know it too. So I just kind of waited and it never came. And then at the end of the month, they're like, oh, you need this and this and that. So I wouldn't be getting my top dasher for the next month. So it means I'm going to suffer another fucking month of financially. So I was so fucking pissed off. They're like, oh, yeah, you're this and this and that. Like I said, if you want to know that whole story, I'll tell you. But long story short, they fucked me over. So what ended up happening is I would have to travel farther. So what I had to end up doing is traveling at least 15 to 20 miles away from where I live in order to do, DoorDash. Now, if you guys follow Yogi Steve and you guys keep up with him, you will see maybe in one of his videos that I actually seen him because I was in his area. I had to go to his area to do DoorDash because I can't do in my area. He's out in the Hollywood area. I actually ran into Yogi Steve and I was actually on a delivery and I saw him. I was like, that's gotta be him because I saw the back of him and I was like, oh, that's him. So I put my delivery in there. It was an easy CVS delivery and I just caught up to him real quick, and I talked to him for a little bit, chopped it up for him, actually seen him in person. Yogi's awesome, man. So that was pretty cool. And he's, I was only in his area because of my dasher status. Now I'm hoping to get my status back next month because now, I'm doing what the fuck they're going to say to do, and let's see the excuse after that. And I could be back in my area because it's really an inconvenience for me and it's really hard for me to have to go all the way over there. But it was really dope. And like I said, guys, Yogi Steve Electric Scooter Academy has been doing scooter deliveries for a long time. That dude is the pioneer. And people who watch me know that I have him in like a couple of my videos, you know, shouting him out, putting some clips of him, because he's like the pioneer of that shit. Like when I was looking, before I started doing it on my Dualtron, I didn't have a clue. I was watching this other dude. It was this Hispanic dude, and he was on a bike. That dude was doing it on a regular bike. I was watching him, and then I ran into Yogi's channel. He does yoga too. That's why he calls himself Yogi Steve. He has some other yoga channels, but I saw him doing like scooter. I was like, oh shit, you know. And when I saw him doing that and had the bag strapped on, I was like, oh hell yeah, that's a good idea. So then that's when I started doing that. And I watched a lot of his videos, how he was doing it. You know, I took a lot of notes, and you know, he was like, it was like so great. He was very inspiring, very inspiring. So Yogi really inspired me to get out and do that. And it's been the greatest thing ever. And this is the reason why. And this is before, guys, you got to keep in mind, this is before I got my Dualtron Storm Limited and all that kind of shit. And most of those scooters I had. And I was thinking, what's the best scooter to deliver on? You know, there's reasons why I got my specific scooters. So, yeah. So that's what happened. I ended up, you know, seeing Yogi. Now, back to what I was saying about why I love this and why this is such a good scooter and why it stands out from the rest. Now, I want you to think about something for a second. If I would not have had my Storm, I would have been fucked, because I have my main job, but I also do my deliveries, which I love. You know, it's a good side hustle and it makes good money, and it's all I need. But if I can't do them because DoorDash fucked me over, and the reason why I couldn't do Uber Eats is because in my area, for some reason, there's like no fucking orders. So whatever, it was just DoorDash. But since I couldn't dash, you know, it fucked me over. So now, the reason why this is so good is because when I have to go 15 to 20 miles to Yogi, okay, over to Hollywood to do deliveries, how am I going to do that with one battery? Think about that. How am I going to make money with one battery? Even if I had my Storm Limited, it's not enough, because you have to understand, I have to go 15 to 20 miles over there. Then I have to do deliveries the whole time and get enough money. And then I have to come all the way back home. It's not going to happen. Not even on a Limited, not even on an FS. Okay, it's not enough battery to ride all the way there on decent speeds and to do deliveries on decent speeds and then to come all the way back. It's not going to happen. But with my Dualtron Storm, it is. Why? Because I have two batteries. With my two combined batteries, that turns me into a 62 amp hour. So when I go with my battery and my other battery in my backpack, I'm able to get there. This is how it worked, okay? So I have my extra battery in my backpack. Now, you guys remember how I showed my food bag. My food bag is strapped onto the scooter. Now, it's really not that heavy, guys. It's not. I mean, at least for me, it's 27 pounds, okay? A lot of the time, I don't even really feel it. If you get a good backpack with padding, you really don't even feel it, to be honest. It's 27 pounds. And here's the thing. I don't have the backpack on at all times, okay? My bag is a bigger size. It's a decent size. It's not like the small bags. What I do is I put my backpack inside the food bag after I drop off a delivery, or when I'm not, you know, when I don't have any deliveries, or when I'm on my way to the store. Basically, I take it off and put it in the bag, and it gives me a rest. So I'm not wearing the backpack the entire time, okay? You guys know I'm very innovative and creative. So this is the thing that I do, and it works just fine. So for most of the time, my back is resting. Sometimes I even forget that it's on, and I don't even take it off. You know, it's really not that heavy. But for some people, I understand it may be 27 pounds may be kind of heavy. But this is why the Dualtron Storm shines. And I feel bad for that guy. I think he was from the UK. Sorry if I got it wrong, but I remember he was telling me how he got the Dualtron Storm. Let yourself be known in the comments. You know who I'm talking about. Let yourself be known. How you doing, by the way? Hope you're good. He got the Dualtron Storm for the same reason I did, for the extra battery. It's smart. Because he's probably like, fuck, you know, I could take that battery with me. I got no range anxiety. But it sucks he couldn't get it because in his country, there's difficulty shipping the battery and yada, yada. He's having a hard time buying one. And that's the main reason why he got it. And I feel so bad for him. Hey, man, give me an update. Let me know if you were able to get an extra Storm battery because you're just like me. You're missing out on the biggest glory that this scooter is just so amazing with this extra battery thing. So he was in the same boat as me, but he was unable to enjoy that, and it fucking sucks. Give me an update. I hope you were able to get it. But now here's how it worked, okay? So, of course, I found the settings that I wanted to use or whatever. So I ride in over there at so P7 is at level 3. That's acceleration. So that's considered the middle because from 0 to 6 is the full settings. 0 is going to be the absolute bottom, no curvature at all. This is just buck wild. That's just when you want to have fun and burn your tires up. 1 will take that down a little bit. You're still going super fast, but 1 gives you a little bit of control. I gave you guys that as a tip. If you want to have the fastest setting, but you don't want to burn too much, put it on 1. Don't use 0. Even though 0 may give you a slight more speed, it's no control at all. Just to mention, the only way you're going to get really good sine wave controller kind of like control on this is on eco mode. But the only downside is eco mode is going to reduce your speed. The only way you're going to get that super nice high speed on demand when you do it is if you get a sine wave controller, which Dualtrons do not have. And in the last Dualtron X video, if this new magnet technology, you know they're always shooting shit out of their ass. So let's see if that's the equivalent of the sine wave controller, but they're trying to do it in a magnet. We will find out when we're able to test it. I'm not buying the X3, but if you guys do too, but whatever. I just had to throw that in there for you guys. So back to what I was saying. So acceleration is on level 3. Okay. My percentage is always at 100, P8, and P9 is at level 2, and I have eco mode pushed in, right? Now, when I head out in the morning, you know, because it takes me a long time, it takes me like an hour and 20 minutes to get there. When I head out in the morning, I have my battery it's not in my backpack, it's in my food bag. I ride out on that battery, okay? I have 7, and when I get there, I have 77 volts. Okay, I've done it so many times. Now I know what I'm gonna have when I get there. Okay, now there's a couple of methods that I do. With this one method, as soon as I get in there into the location where Yogi's at, Hollywood, I take out the battery. Okay, put in my fresh battery, right, and then I use that one, and now. Here's the thing. I can do deliveries on that fresh battery. I can run it to empty. Okay, so I can devote that full battery to all deliveries. Okay, I don't have to worry about anything. Okay, so I'll either run it to 0 or when I have to leave to go back home to go to work. Okay, now if I run that battery to 0, I still have the battery that I rode in on, and it's at 77 volts. Now, I've tested that, and with 77 volts, I can get all the way back home. I'll have like 67 volts or 66, very low. Sometimes 68, I mean, it just depends. But sometimes it'll be lower than that. But the thing is, I know I can get home. I know I can get there and back on 1 battery. But when I get back, it's almost dead. This is why this is such a good thing, because I would not be able to work if I did not have this scooter. This scooter is fucking awesome. Okay, it shines in its own way. It may not have a sine wave and all that, but every scooter has its benefits, dude. It's not about the company name. It's fuck all that shit. Look at the qualities of the scooter and what they have. All of them have something special about them. Wolf Kings, Nammies, every one of them, dude. It just depends on what you need, all right? Fuck a name. Get what you need and what is, suits you and what's, convenient for you. Okay. So that's pretty much how I did it. Or the other method I'll do is, and I've tried this, it just depends. I'll go in and I'll keep the same battery in and I'll run it to an absolute 0. But I tend to switch because I don't tend to run the fresh battery that I put into 0 by the end of the day anyway. And I don't want to run my battery to absolute 0 too many times because that kills the lifespan of it. I don't like to do that too much. Every once in a while, I'll just keep that in and then I'll just run it to 0. And then once it's at 0, I'll put my new battery in and we're good to go. So yeah, that's, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. For all of you who with me on this long journey and been with me on this scooter, I'm gonna keep it going. I'm gonna let you guys know everything that happens, all of its downs, all of its ups as we go, okay? Oh, it wouldn't be complete without doing the finale, of course. We gotta check the mileage, yeah. It's not gonna be complete without that, so let's turn this on here. Oops, power button, yeah. All right, we're at 73 volts, not bad, 52%, let's see here. Did I pass it? Damn it. There we go. 14,557 miles. This shit is high. I've got like the highest fucking miles, guys. When I tell you I use this shit every day, I fucking do every day. My Storm Limited is gonna be the same shit. It's gonna be fucking raped too. So yeah, be prepared to get that. Oh yeah, God, I forgot who asked me how many miles. God, I forget that dude's name. He's in a lot of videos. I even saw him in Yogi's chat yesterday. He's a big scooter head. It's around, I think I answered you in the chat, but just for everybody else, I think I got like 2,000. I already have 2,000 miles on my Limited, guys. Like, nobody's fucking with me, bro. Like, people do these 100 miles, 200 miles. Fuck, dude, I put miles on my shit, bro. So, but anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys are all doing good, and I'll see you in the next video. Salute.